One of those defenses, Green Bay Packers defense, was actually mentioned by the man who's about to join us in a press conference when he said, we're top 5 defense, won a Super Bowl. So I understand how good Super Bowls are for the entirety. A man who grew up in the great city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, then would go on to become a coaching legend with stops in numerous places, coaching legends from all different generations of the NFL. He has to be the only human that has the head coaching resume that he has. And in the history of the NFL, whenever you talk about organizations that are storied, full of tradition, around a long time, and obviously could be considered America's teams, you would think the Dallas Cowboys, you think the Green Bay Packers, and then obviously you think of the Pittsburgh Steelers. A man who's been the head coach of the Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys, and now the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yinzer legend, Super Bowl champion, Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, Coach!
Great to hear your voice again, Pat. Shit, I missed you guys.
Hey,
Thank you for the great introduction.
Hey, we missed you too. Congratulations, man. Obviously, we watched a presser where you couldn't even get a word out, okay? As you were rubbing your hands, you literally looked like every Pittsburgh dad out there going, all right, bear with me here. And then, yep, there it is, bear with me here. And then doing the, you put them front row down here. It's kind of unfair. Like you were, I think you endeared yourself with a lot of people around Pittsburgh because obviously we have seen and experienced humans like you in the past. And that was kind of your reference point to why when you walked in the building, it felt like home. Why do you think that you've held on this great appreciation of our home city for as long as you have? Because when AJ was with you in Green Bay, he was like, yeah, you walk into his office, it was like all Pittsburgh memorabilia, basically. And in Dallas, we assume it was the same thing. Why do you think you have so much pride in the city of Pittsburgh? And why do you think at this moment you are the right guy to get the Steelers to where they need to be for everybody in Pittsburgh to be pumped and celebrating that damn Lombardi, Coach?
I mean, Pittsburgh's who we are, Pat. I think you wear it on your sleeve the same way. You don't wear sleeves because you're always working, doing biceps and shit. But,
yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
But there you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
But
no, I think it's a big part of who we are, and it's just everywhere I go here. I mean, just to drive across the Hot Metal Bridge to work every day, and I remember J&L still being there as a kid, and now what it's turned into. But yes, I think it's like anything in life. We're in an industry where you're competing to win each and every day, and who you are and where you come from is important. And so I've always been very, very, very proud to be from Pittsburgh, and specifically, my neighborhood of Greenfield.
Yeah, and we are all proud that you're from Pittsburgh as well as fellow Yinzers. You getting the Steelers coaching job, though, as a Yinzer, you understand what that comes with. Very high expectation and very passionate fans. What was the conversation like with Con, with ownership, whenever you're getting interviewed for the job? And how do you, I guess everywhere you're at, there's high expectation, but how do you kind of regulate the expectation outside the building while trying to figure out what you're trying to do inside the building?
Yeah, I think it's just like anything. You have to be aware, and obviously we have a great PR department here with Bert, and so you have the responsibility to make sure you're delivering the message of the direction of the football team. But it's my responsibility to show up here every day and win, and that's just the way I've always gone about it. Because this is a 12-month job that you have to, there's always something to do. There's always a video to watch. There's always a conversation to have. There's always things that as far as you're planning and getting ready for the next day, because at the end of the day, you're guaranteed 17 games. You're guaranteed 17 games to have the opportunity to get to the tournament and hopefully playing in the game that's being played this week. So, and I just think the simplistic, everyday blue-collar approach it has served me well, and I obviously learned it here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, perfect for Pittsburgh. I think Yinzers are pumped to hear about it. Let's talk about the team that you're going to have. You said that's Omar's job. Good play by you, by the way. I like that. And then also I appreciate whenever you guys were asked to talk about each other's experience with each other, I think with the Saints or whatever, you let Omar go first, and you said because if Omar says it, you can smack him or something like that. It feels like you two very close. Let's talk about that relationship a little bit, and then also the team going forward, because a lot of people said hiring you was basically a signal from the Steelers. It's like, hey, we're not rebuilding this thing. We are still where we are. Is that the vibe you get, the sense you get? And how does team construction go here until we kick off the next season for you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you look at the opportunities this year, you look at the roster. I mean, this is not a this is not a start over opportunity at all. And I think that's clear. I mean, it's a football team that was in the playoffs last year, so to categorize it, it's a playoff roster. So, but just like anything, you got the financial realm that you're dealing with every year. The free agents on your own football team. To me, that's always the primary focus. So we're definitely starting to have those conversations as we continue to hire the staff. Staff is the primary focus right now because that's a lot of work and time that goes into that. But yes, this is a roster I'm excited about. And, we'll just, once again, take it one day at a time and make sure we're ready for free agency, make sure we're ready for the draft. We got a bunch of draft picks. So this will be a hell of a draft class.
Draft in Pittsburgh, too. We might be asking you to work. I guess you could pass. I guess you could pass it up this year. Last year you were great on draft analysis. I'm going to let you know. Amazing on there.
I had a great point guard. Yeah, I had a great point guard. So, yeah.
A lot of notes.
Great team.
He had
great
a lot of notes.
Prepared.
You had a lot of notes. I was asked about that, and I was like, this most prepared guy we have had, that we have worked with, and we got quoted Galileo.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think a lot of people, would really have that in the Mike McCarthy bag before it came out here if you didn't play for a Mike McCarthy team. Now, I did mention that. Now, you mentioned in there staff hiring, okay? It seems like some's coming together. Go ahead, Tone.
Congrats, Coach, first and foremost. It's awesome that this happened. But, yeah, staff hiring, obviously, you talked about it, is a huge deal. I don't think anything's official yet, but there's been names out there: Patrick Graham, James Campen, Jari Evans, Scotty Tolzien. All those seem like they'd be awesome hires. How is the staff coming together, and what are you looking for in a staff specifically?
I think the biggest thing, you have to have a level of experience and expertise as far as competing in this league. I think that's something that I really value a lot. Having an opportunity to put staffs together in the past. So as you do that, but I'm also looking for, some younger, energetic, coaches that also fit to, the direction of what we're doing. So, it's hard not to hire, 17 coaching staffs from Pittsburgh. So that's always a challenge. But really, just making it fit together. That's really my focus right now.
AQ Shipley, I think AQ Shipley, he gets the urge to get out of Shipley. He would have to Zoom call in. I think he's a little bit too comfortable out there in Phoenix. Cold as hell there in Pittsburgh. Obviously, nothing. Yeah. Welcome back. Bro.
Yeah. I've never seen snow like this. This has been a long time since this city's been hit with a snowstorm like this.
How many inches?
I think 10 inches. Yeah, 10 in the city. A lot of side streets are just getting cleared. So
was that 94 blizzard? When was the blizzard in Pittsburgh?
93.
93.
There was one when I don't know if you were a senior college or I was a senior in college, 2009, 8, 10, somewhere around there. That was
10, yeah. They talk about huge. 2010. I think it was the one. Last time I had one this big.
Well, especially with the way Pittsburgh is constructed, it's like, well, where the hell is the snow going to go?
Nowhere.
There's nowhere. Yeah, it's just all going to sit on top. Let's get warm. Let's get flamethrowers out there. I think that's really the only option you have at this point. But let's talk about you dealing with frozen tundra in the past. Ty Schmidt, obviously, is one of your biggest fans. I think he's pumped you onto the Steelers. Actually.
Yeah, I'm absolutely pumped. And I let Coach know. I texted him and said, hey, nothing wrong with having to root on the Steelers in the AFC. I'm happy with doing that. But, Coach, you kind of alluded to this a little bit in your opening press conference. Last time you had a year off, you basically said, it was a year off, but, you were doing the McCarthy project in your barn with a couple of your buddies, with the intention of, hey, I want to stay in the game, and I want to get another head coaching opportunity as quick as possible. Last year, with actually having a year off and, joining us once a week, did you learn anything about yourself in terms of your philosophy or how you might change things this time around? How did actually taking a year off maybe make you a better or a different coach moving forward?
I think this year was clearly, the appreciation, for the time with family, which obviously, being grateful for an incredible career that I had to the point and was very comfortable, with that time with my family. So I just think the biggest thing is, the appreciation about being around the people you love. And I love coaching. I miss the locker room. I miss the staff meetings. I miss game plan days on Tuesday. So all the little things that you're able to take, sit back and think about, and then to get this opportunity with the Steelers, I just frankly, I felt like it was meant to be. And but I would just say, just appreciation for this great life the good Lord has blessed me with.
Little perspective, huh? Give you a little perspective there whenever you step away for a little bit?
Oh, absolutely. No, absolutely. And, it's the time that I've had with the kids has been remarkable. It's really the only time as a head coach that, it's, I feel like I'm a better father today than I definitely was a year ago. So, and and I thank you guys because you guys kept my head in the game, so I was able to talk football once a week with you guys, break down the Thursday night game. So, I was able to stay in it enough, but I just had great quality family time this year.
We love to hear that. Anytime somebody's perspective is changed in a positive way where you appreciate everything more, that seems like a good life event. And you didn't pick the games, obviously, because, obviously, but if you were to.
Yeah, still pretty sharp.
Guy pretty good. Yep. Guy was sticking with the game. Guy was sticking with the game for sure. Might know ball a little bit. Okay, speaking of knowing ball, you've coached a lot of legends. I mean, there's a lot of names being thrown that have been in the same, building as you, that have basically built ball in this entirety. So I think that's something that it's exciting that people are learning about your history with quarterbacks. But there's certainly one that has a lot of conversation right now. Go ahead, Con Man.
Yeah, Coach, congrats again. It's cool to see you back in Pittsburgh and how much it means to you. One of the first questions you had at your press conference was about Aaron. Have you been able to talk to Aaron Rodgers at all? Has there been any dialogue with him just about next year? I saw a lot of people kind of linking Aaron with James Campen, the offensive line coach that you guys are bringing in with, his time from Green Bay. But has there been any more dialogue with that? Has it strictly been kind of just about Will and Mason because they are definitely on the roster? Or have you actually been able to reach out and kind of have an initial back and forth with Aaron?
Yes, I've spoken to Aaron a number of times, but I think just like anybody that played the game a long time, particularly at this point of their career, I mean, it's important to get away, and so that's a normal process that I think it's important for all these players to decompress and step away from the season, and that's really the mindset that he's in, and that's really about as far as our conversations have gone as far as if he's coming back or not coming back. So I think it's important for him to, do the things that, he normally does just to step away and to make those decisions. But, you're talking about every player on the roster. I mean, obviously it's a constant as far as the communication between Omar and I, and he always has the roster board open in his office. So, we're talking about these players a number of times a day, just, make sure that I'm getting familiar with them, and, we're just continuing to have a conversation about the direction we want to go.
How do you feel about the whole building? Obviously, name game and everything is what it is, and studying faces. And I believe we sent over at the beginning to you, I think names, faces, the whole thing. I think that is something that happens in some places. How is the building? Is there familiar faces in that building, or are you learning everything as you go right here?
I mean, I'm learning everything as I go, but it's, this building hasn't had any change in 19 years, and it's funny because I was talking to Mike Tomlin on the phone the other day, and, he operated out of a different office, and I think the furniture was, it's still there from Bill Cowher. So us three have had a laugh about the furniture, but so I'm getting new furniture, so that's a good gig, just because it's been there for decades. But no, it's awesome. It's right on the river here. I look out my window, right across the rivers is where I grew up, in the neighborhood of Greenfield. So it's super cool. But yeah, learning the names and frankly, at night it takes me a while to get down the hall, just looking at all the great teams from the past and so forth. And it's really you're reliving your childhood all over again. So with the 6 Super Bowl trophies right at the top of the steps and so forth. So super cool facility. It's all football.
That's awesome. I'm happy to hear that about a Yinzer walking into Pittsburgh Steelers building and just being like, holy hell, what a time. I remember where I was when this happened. Oh, my mom and dad are going to love to see this. Hey, You see this? You know, as they're walking around with you. I mean, it's like a museum you're working in, and I appreciate the fact that you changed over the couches and the furniture from Coward. There was something that I don't know if Coach Coward told us. He definitely told us, but I don't know how many other places he told, so I don't want to act like we broke the news or he told it to us specifically. But he said he left 2 beers for Mike Tomlin in the fridge whenever Coach Tomlin took over the job. He said, I think him and Coach Noel, I don't know if they had a relationship or not. And Bill Cowher said he wasn't like him and Tomlin. He was not dropping in on him every day. Hey, this is your team now. But he left them 2 IC lights, I guess, in the fridge. Was there anything left for you in the building? Or have you found anything that has been left for you yet in the building?
Well, Bill and Mike have been awesome. Through this experience, but I think Mike must have drank them because honestly, but I'm sure Mike and I will catch up down the road here and have a couple ourselves. So
okay, that's
it's
awesome.
all good.
That's awesome. Well, Coach, I appreciate you joining us. Congratulations on the gig. I know there was obviously some loudness outside the building in Pittsburgh before your press conference. Immediately afterwards, everybody learning who you were a little bit more. People are like, we love this guy. We're happy he's back. Not everybody. Obviously, it's Pittsburgh. You know how that's going to go. But, like, it feels like everybody's excited and rallied, man. We hope you do amazing things.
Oh, thank you. And, hey, anytime, it's always great seeing the gang. And we got some great swag over here. And I know how much you guys like black. So we'll make sure we'll send you some. So
he gets it, yeah.
Where's AJ today? No AJ today?
Second hour, Mike. Come on, Coach.
Sleeping still.
Yeah, second hour, right. Coach. He comes in second hour. So, yeah, he probably is sleeping right. You know how he is.
Yeah, exactly.
Snoozing all the time. You know, he's just.
Hyperbaric chamber.
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean, that is probably accurate. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, you're the man. Ladies and gentlemen, the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, coach.